So if you're not a gardener but love the way a beautiful garden looks, you're going to love this episode of Vancouver Island Vision, where I'm going to introduce you to Mackenzie and Solamar Landscaping. She's serving the Comox Valley, Quadra Island, Campbell River, and areas surrounding. So stay tuned for this next episode of Vancouver Island Vision. I am here with Sam for this next episode of Vancouver Island Vision, and his owner Mackenzie, and the owner of Solamar Landscaping. Where did you learn to do what you're doing?
I learned basically all of it from my mom, who also learned it from her mom and her dad. Actually, they were farmers. So yeah, it goes back quite a while there. They were farmers back over in Thunder Bay. So I learned it from my mom, but as you do with parents, and when you're a kid, you don't really love the whole free labor situation. So while I was absorbing knowledge, I was not happy about it.
Okay.
But I'd love to be in gardens, and maybe if I hadn't been exposed to that at such a young age, I wouldn't be as into it.
Right.
But yeah, so I've learned a lot from her, as well as there's so many resources online nowadays as well with the forums, and everyone can share their knowledge, and it's a great time to be learning from everyone, basically.
Okay. Okay, so a lot of self-teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's great. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So where are you focusing with your landscaping? Like, what kind of jobs are you taking on now and stuff?
Yeah, so I decided to really focus Solamar Landscaping on garden services.
Okay.
There's quite a few businesses in town that already focus solely on lawn services, and I think that industry is fairly well covered already.
Yeah.
And I've really noticed that there's quite a big demand for garden services solely. Okay. It's also where my interest lies. Just due to my background. So providing residential, commercial, and strata landscaping services.
Okay.
Yeah, so maintenance, planting, all of the above. I can do it for all those types of properties.
Are you not sure what to do with that fall cleanup? Mackenzie is about to give us some great tips on what to do in your yard in the fall. So going into fall, what do people need to look out for? What do they need to be doing?
Yeah, so fall is a fun time. A lot of people think that kind of everything stops in fall, but it doesn't need to. Of course, there's the normal stuff like garden cleanups, which is just like weeding, cutting back certain perennials, removing annuals, planting certain bulbs that will bloom in the spring for people.
Okay.
But it's also a great time to put topsoil on because it just gives that nice insulating layer for the colder time. There's certain plants that are temperature sensitive, and that'll just really insulate them.
Right, okay.
Its secondary benefit is that it cuts down on weeds if you apply enough of it.
Right.
So that can all be done right now. Another thing that's sadly starting is leaf cleanups. The leaves are starting to fall. It seems too early, but it's happening. So definitely offer the leaf cleanups. So we blow them and rake them and then remove all of them each time. And it does help properties just look really sharp throughout the drearier months too. It's one less thing to worry about.
Yeah, and you don't want to get into May and then all of a sudden you're scrambling around trying to get your yard cleaned up.
Because you're going to have to do it one time or another, right?
Yeah.
And spring can be very, very busy and people book up really quickly. So if you do a pretty good job of it in the fall, your springtime will be a lot easier.
What areas do you cover?
So geographic locations, I cover Campbell River, Quadra Island, the Comox Valley, and then anywhere in between. So Black Creek, Merville, anywhere in there. I love the variety of it, so I kind of like to be able to go all over.
Yeah.
I find a lot of people from like Black Creek and Merville, they call me and they're like, oh, do you come out all this way? And I love going out there, so it's great. I love to be able to be like, of course I do, I'll be there, So.
Well, if you're going to find the bigger properties and the bigger gardens and the places that you can really work what you do. How did you get into the landscaping? What were you doing before?
Before this, I was working for BC Assessment, actually. I was a property appraiser. I'd been doing appraising for about 3 years before that.
Okay.
And just having to work from home during COVID especially, it really wasn't working for me. And I took a leap. I hadn't ever done like a labor type job or even an outdoor labor type job. So I took a chance and started doing that and just realized I loved it right off the bat. And that I would also really like to do it for myself. So I took a chance, and it's worked out really well.
Yeah, that's great. So just jumped right in, both feet right in.
Also, being an appraiser for a couple of years too, like I always noticed the landscaping.
Right.
Whereas it's hard to put an exact value on landscaping because it differs with taste, obviously, but I've always been drawn to it, and it can just improve the market value of a house so much and the feel of it too. Can't be underestimated there.
Curb appeal is everything.
Totally.
Right?
Exactly.
So, so what kind of thing do you want to tell everybody out there watching? What do they need to know about Solamar that is different from any other landscapers out there?
I guess what's different, maybe not different, potentially, but what I'm really trying to do with my business that might be different is, there's two things. The first is that I really am trying to do everything in my power to make sure that people are comfortable with me.
Okay.
Being on their property and working, as well as just comfortable and like have faith in my abilities to work on their gardens. Just because gardens are so personal to everyone, like a lot of work usually goes into them and a lot of thought picking the plants and all that type of stuff, and I don't ever want to underestimate that. So I want to make sure that they're comfortable with me being on their property as well as my team, because a lot of times the work gets done while people are at work or on holidays and not present to supervise, and it's important that they trust whoever's there, and that they've met me. So that's important to me, as well as communication. I just want everyone to know that I will never be too busy to return your phone call or email. So if you have any questions, just shoot me an email, a text, a phone call. I'd love to hear from them. So Solamar Landscaping Services at gmail.com. It's long, I know. And my phone number is 250-216-8956. It is my cell phone, so you can text it. Just obviously introduce yourself, but call me too.
Thanks so much for watching. For more information about services, things to do, places to go on Vancouver Island, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook and Instagram.